Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, arrahmanirrahim, maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabbihi ajmain. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami dan kasihilah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami dan negara kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Apa khabar semua Semoga semuanya sihat pada hari ini. So, hari ini kita masuk kelas yang ketiga untuk semester ni dan pada minggu yang kedua. Dan insyaAllah kita akan masuk topik yang kedua lah pada hari ini. Okay. Jadi sebelum itu kita akan ambil attendance dulu. Okay. So seperti biasa, kita bermula dengan nama Aimi. Ada Aimi?
Ada, sir.
Okay. Arina?
Ada, sir.
Okay. Ayu Maisara?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Masya?
Saya.
Okay. Muhammad Haikal?
Saya.
Okay. Muhammad Aiman? Ada. Muhammad Akil?
Saya, doktor.
Okay. Jadi siapa saya tu? Aiman? Akil ke Aiman?
Akil, doktor. Saya Aiman.
Okay. Aiman pun ada, Akil pun ada. Okay. Muhammad Azib?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Najwa Najiha? Tak ada. Azatul Farah?
Saya.
Okay. Nur Alisa Balkis?
Saya, doktor.
Okay. Nur Amani?
Saya,
Ada?
doktor.
Okay. Nur Amni?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Nur Damia Aufa?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Nur Hazikah? Tak ada. Nur Syahirah? Nur
Ada,
Syahirah?
doktor.
Ada Nur Syaza?
Saya.
Nur Syifa?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Nur Ain Afika?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Nur Alisa Balkis?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Nur Farhana?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Nurul Fatihah? Tak ada. Syakif? Tak ada. Siti Khadijah?
Saya, doktor.
Okay. Asfa? Asfa Irdina? Tak ada. Nur Aifa?
Saya.
Okay. Nurul Atirah? Tak ada. Nurul Izzati?
Saya.
Okay. Nurul Natasha?
Saya, doktor.
Okay. Siti Nur Syahirah?
Ada, doktor.
Okay. Muhammad Fikri? Tak ada. Fikriah?
Saya.
Okay. Fikriah? Fikriah? Tak ada. Okay. So kita akan sambung dengan soalan yang kedua hari itu. I will share with you the second question. Okay. Ini adalah soalan yang pertama hari itu untuk calculate the goodwill. Okey, dah cuba ke soalan yang kedua? Julai-Juli. Dah cuba dah Julai-Juli?
Dah.
Okey, dapat 224? Dapat tak? Dapat. So, siapa boleh cuba terangkan? Okay, compute goodwill or bargain purchase. Kita bermula dengan apa dia?
Consideration transfer.
Yes, consideration transfer berapa?
800,000.
100,000?
800.
800,000, okay. Sebab apa 800,000?
400,000 ordinary share times RM2.
Yes, very good. And then ada, okay, list of fair value of net asset.
Yes.
Okay. Berapa tu?
1.28 million.
1.28 million comprised of
Equity.
okay, equity. Equity itu terdiri daripada ordinary share,
Share return profit, general reserve dengan revaluation.
okay, so dapat 224. Okay, so goodwill or bargain purchase. Okay, kita start dengan consideration transfer. Consideration transfer kita okay, our consideration transfer comprise of ordinary share. Jadi kita nak angka saja. Tetapi kalau kita tak tahu apa benda yang dibayar, maknanya kita tak dapatlah angka ni. Jadi kita tahu dibayar dengan apa dia? 400,000 ordinary share time RM2. Ya, 400,000 ordinary share time RM2, iaitu kita letak in bracket lah, 400,000 ordinary share time RM2. So untuk itu kita dapat 800,000. Okay, kemudian kita bagi ruang untuk non-controlling interest untuk kita isi nanti. Okay, fair value of net asset of subsidiary comprise of ordinary share capital dia 900,000. Okay, kemudian dia ada retain profit. RM300,000. Dan dia ada general reserve, GR. Okay, semua sekali ada 931250. On the same day, a property was revalued at 30,000 more than its carrying value. Jadi kita ada satu lagi item iaitu ARR. Okay, ARR tu lebih kosong ni. Kita ada ARR. Okay, ARR sebanyak 30. Okay, jadi semua sekali. Fair value on asset semua sekali. Satu, dua, 80 1280. Okay. So daripada jumlah itu kita nak calculate NCI kita adalah how many percent? 20%. %20 kali 1280. Lambat sikit nak type ni. Okay, tolong bagi nilai berapa? 1280. Dia jadi
256.
256. Okay. So kita totalkan dua ni, kita dapat 1056 ya.
Betul.
Tak boleh nak tab pula ni, dia pakai. Okey, 1056 dan di bawah kita ada 1280. Jadi kita punya fair value of investment 1056 dan kita punya fair value of net asset 1280. Jadi kita dapat apa dia? Bargain purchase ya. Kita dapat bargain purchase. So bargain purchase dia betul lah tu angka dia 224,000 ya. Kita dulu bargain purchase. Okey. So begitu juga untuk soalan yang berikutnya. Soalan berikutnya tu dapat tak 167,500?
Dapat.
Okay, dapat. Semua orang dapat. Jadi kalau semua orang dapat, kita buat dua soalan sajalah. Soalan 1 dan 2. Soalan 3 tu buat sendiri, insyaAllah. Okay. So I believe that you can do. If you have any problem, tell me. Alright. So kita masuk kepada tajuk kita yang baru pada hari ini. Okay, iaitu intercompany transaction and balances. Intercompany transaction and balances. So what is actually intercompany transaction and balances? Kita tengok summary dia sikit. Okay, so basically what we are going to do is, to look at what are the types, what are the types of intercompany transaction and balances. Okay. So basically based on the slide, based on the slide in week 1, okay, kita ambil lah slide tadi. Slide yang minggu lepas, kita ambil juga, kita tengok sekejap. Okey, kita nak tengok satu muka surat saja. Okey. We want to see this page, ya. Consolidation procedure. Okey. Kalau kita tengok kat sini, step number 1 is to combine line item of asset, liability, equity, income, expense, cash flow of the parent and of the subsidiary. This is number 1. Number 2, number 2, offset or eliminate the carrying amount of the parent investment in subsidiary. Kan, maknanya dalam soalan yang tadi tu, contohnya soalan 2, investment in subsidiary 800,000. Okey. Dalam soalan yang pertama, investment in subsidiary ada 1.2 million. Itu maksudnya eliminate investment in subsidiary. Kita nak eliminate dengan apa? Kita eliminate dengan equity yang kita acquire lah. Let's say you acquire 80% of ordinary share. So kita akan eliminate dengan 80% of ordinary share plus 80% of the reserve. Kita dapat net asset tu, kita eliminate lah amount dia. So macam tadi kita dapat berapa? 1280 kali dengan 80%. Itu untuk untuk holding company lah. Okay, so itu maksudnya step yang kedua, eliminate or offset the carrying amount of the parent investment. Yang ketiga, ini yang kita nak belajar pada hari ini, eliminate in full the intergroup asset, liabilities, equity, income, expenses and cash flow relating to transaction between entities of the group. That is profit or losses resulting from intra-group transaction that are recognized in asset such as inventory, non-current asset are eliminated in full. Jadi ini yang kita nak belajar pada hari inilah selama seminggu insya-Allah, ya. So kita balik semula pada muka surat yang saya tunjuk tadi. Okay, topik summary tu. Jadi untuk summary 1 ni sebenarnya adalah yang very basic lah, yang very basic sekali. Apabila ini adalah acquisition yang berlaku, okey, ini kita diberikan 2 statement of financial position of holding and subsidiary. Kita telah diberi holding dan subsidiary punya statement of financial position, okay, dan juga statement of profit or loss dekat bawah tu. Jadi panjang lebar dia tu. First example pun dah panjang, Okay. Kemudian daripada whatever given here, dia ada summary dia. Summary dia apa? Inilah kat bawah kat atas ni. As an introduction, the summary is Ash acquire 75% interest in Edge. Ni summary dia. Kemudian another party is NCI. When is the date? The date is 1st January 2014. How much Edge pay? 180. Cash dan juga 200 in share. Jadi totalnya 380. Ordinary share on that date 250. Retained earning 100. ARR 80. Fair value of net asset 120. Ini summary. Okay. Kemudian direct interest. Ash direct interest in S, preference share. Preference share pun dia ada ambil alih juga ataupun acquire juga 60% holding dan 40% non-controlling interest. Bila tarikhnya? 1st January juga 2014. The amount is 90. Okay. Kemudian preference share total dia adalah 150. Jadi acquire 60%, 40% NCI. Number of share total sekali, semua sekali 150. Kemudian Ash direct interest in debenture 40%. Debenture pun dia beli juga 40%. tarikh yang sama dengan harga 48. 48 ni 48,000. Okey. Itu yang pertama, yang pertama. Kemudian yang kedua, we need to calculate the goodwill, ya. Jadi kita akan tengok satu persatu nanti. There are two method to calculate the goodwill. The first one is partial goodwill, second one is full goodwill. Yang ni pun kita dah tunjuk contoh hari tu. Partial ni, partial maknanya kita calculate non-controlling interest based on fair value of net asset of subsidiary. Full goodwill, we calculate the non-controlling interest based on fair value of share of subsidiary. So goodwill is subject to impairment. Itu yang pertama. Okay. Yang kedua goodwill, ya. Yang ketiga, analysis of financial statement, ya. So we are going to analyze the financial statement brought down, ya. Okay. Kemudian kita akan analyze carried down, okay. Analysis brought down. Apa yang kita nak tengok? Kita nak tengok opening balance. Opening balance of item in the statement of changes in equity. Apa dia? Retained profit, ARR, NCI, opening balance, closing balance. Okey. Kemudian, ni NCI, ya. So, bila kita nak calculate NCI, NCI include NCI investment in subsidiary. So, tadi yang invest dalam subsidiary itu ada holding, ada NCI. Ada holding, ada NCI. Okey, ni secara ringkasnya beginilah. Jadi saya takkan bacakan satu-satu lah. Sebab bila kita buat nanti baru kita nampak satu persatu. Tapi bila kita ada stuck, kita refer balik kat sini. Okay, kemudian financial statement of subsidiary. Financial statement of subsidiary. Kemudian financial statement of the parent. Ni dia. Okay, kemudian summary, second summary. Okay. So we are going to do the SOPL and SOFP. Jadi kita akan sekejap lagi kita akan buat SOPL, SOFP for full goodwill dan juga for partial goodwill. So SOPL kita nak buat apa? Ya. Lepas tu CSOCE kita nak buat apa? Semua dia dah tunjukkan kat sini. Kemudian SOFP kita nak buat apa? Jadi kita akan tengok dari segi praktikal dia. Yang pertama kita akan tengok dari segi kita tengok partial goodwill dululah. Kita tengok partial goodwill. Okay, kita tengok partial goodwill. Okay, so for partial goodwill, okay, summary ni tadi kita dah ada tengok dekat ruangan summary. Okay, kemudian yang ini adalah soalan dia, statement of financial position. Statement of financial position for 31st December 2015 for H and S. Saya besarkan sikit. Mana dia? Okey, besarkan dekat sini. Mana tak boleh nak besarkan ni? Okey, tak apa. Hopefully you can see, tak boleh dibesarkan ni. Okey, so kita start dengan ada property, plant and equipment, okay, untuk dua-dua company H dan S. Kemudian ada investment in S, ordinary share, preference share, debenture. Okay, jadi kita dah summarize tadi. Dekat atas ni kita ada 180,000 cash dan 200,000 share. Totalnya 380,000. Itu adalah consideration transferred. Dalam statement of financial position, kita tak sebut consideration transferred. Kita sebut investment in subsidiary. Dalam calculation of goodwill, kita panggil consideration transferred. Okay, so itu untuk ordinary, untuk preference, untuk debenture. Jadi dia ada 3 investment in subsidiary. Okay, next. Current asset. Current asset ada inventory, trade receivable. Okay, kemudian ada dividend receivable. 25,950. Interest receivable. So, saya merahkan dekat sini. Kenapa? Sebab ini adalah the amount of dividend and interest receivable from the subsidiary. Inilah yang kita panggil intercompany. Kan, the subsidiary pay dividend to the holding company. So, it is an intercompany balance. Intercompany transaction and balance. Okey. Kemudian dekat bawah tu kita ada cash and bank balance. Kemudian kita ada ordinary share, preference share. Okey. So kita tengok kat sini ordinary share of holding 400,000. Ordinary share of subsidiary 250,000. So ni kita nampak kat atas ni investment in ordinary share yang bernilai 380,000 ni adalah untuk purchase ordinary share yang 250,000 ni. Kan? Tetapi dia purchase cuma 75%. So apa makna purchase 75% of ordinary share? Maknanya dia purchase 75% of the equity on the date of acquisition. So equity tu macam kita kira tadilah. Kita kira goodwill tadi, equity comprise of ordinary share, comprise of retained profit, comprise of general reserve, comprise of ARR. Jadi kita kena tengoklah dekat sini senarai dia. Ordinary share, retained profit, general reserve, ARR. Jadi maknanya kalau dia acquire ordinary share, dia acquire sekali reserves. Okey. Kemudian kita ada preference share 150,000. Jadi dia acquire investment in preference share maknanya adalah sebahagian daripada 150,000. 60% of 160,000. Kemudian investment in debenture 40%. Kita tengok ada debenture kat bawah ni 120,000. Okey. So kita ada retain profit brought down, ada retain profit for the year dan ada components of equity. Kita ada debenture, kita ada non-current asset debenture, kita ada current asset trade payable, dividend payable, interest payable, tax payable, total equity and liabilities. Okay, on top of that, we have also statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Okay, so what we have here, revenue of the holding company and subsidiary company, the cost of sale, okay, then loss on disposal of property, plant, equipment. So, kenapa ada loss on disposal of property, plant, equipment kat sini? Loss on disposal of property, plant, equipment kat sini merujuk kepada subsidiary dispose plant and equipment kepada holding. Dan dia jual dengan kerugian. Dia jual dengan kerugian sebanyak 1,500. Kemudian dalam holding pula dia ada dividend from subsidiary, interest from subsidiary. Nampak tak angka yang sama tadi dekat atas? Tadi kita ada ni kan 25,950. Sini pun sama juga 25,950, 24,00, 24,00. Maknanya ini adalah pendapatan ataupun income received from subsidiary. Jadi intercompany transaction. Okey. Kemudian kita ada other income, ada distribution cost, admin cost, finance cost, profit before tax, taxation, profit for the year. Dan ada comprehensive income, kita ada fair value revaluation, holding 20,000, subsidiary 10,000. Okey. Total comprehensive income for the year 167,750 for the holding and for the subsidiary 87,500. Ada pula ordinary dividend proposed 40,000 by holding, 25,000 for the subsidiary, and dividend proposed 8,000 of holding and 12,000 of the subsidiary. So panjanglah dia punya statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss. Pendek kata, it is almost a comprehensive example sebab kita nak incorporate dalam example kita intercompany transaction and balances. Okay. So dengan adanya benda ni semua, yang pertama kita kena calculate goodwill. Okay. Kita kena calculate goodwill. Jadi goodwill will be calculated based on what we have learned. So step 1, we are going to show the consideration transfer. Consideration transfer comprise of cash paid and share capital issued. So cash paid just now is 180,000 and share issued is 200,000. Altogether 380,000. Can we simply put 380,000? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. You put here the working here. You put the working cash 180, share capital 200,000 and you put here 380,000 straight away. Itu kita panggil step 1. And then step 2 is to calculate the fair value of net asset acquired. On the date of acquisition, we have ordinary share capital of 250,000. Okay. Mana dapat? Daripada soalan. Yeah. 250,000. And then retained earning on the date of acquisition is 100,000. And we have ARR of 80,000. Kita ada 3 item of equity on the date of acquisition. So totalkan 430,000. This is step 2. Step 2. Since we are using the partial goodwill, we are going to calculate the non-controlling interest based on the fair value of net asset. 430,000 times 25% equal to 107,500. So we add together the consideration transfer 380,000 and the non-controlling interest 107,500. The total amount is 487,500. What do we call this? 487,500 ni. Kita panggil dia adalah fair value of investment. Okay, kita panggil fair value of investment. Okay, itu adalah total dia 487,500 and we compare with the fair value of net asset 430,000. Is there any difference between 487,500 and 430,000? The answer is yes. There is a difference of 57,500. So this 57,500 is known as goodwill, because the fair value of shares is greater than the fair value of net asset. So it is a goodwill. It is a goodwill. Okay, so saya nak ajar sampai calculation of goodwill. Okay, are you following?
Yes.
Yes, everybody. Yeah. So after we have calculated our goodwill and we find that the goodwill is 57,500, okay, we have to know that this goodwill 57,500 belongs to the holding company. Why it is belong to holding company? Because we are using partial goodwill. We calculate the non-controlling interest based on fair value of net asset. So all the goodwill belong to the holding company. Okay, now after we calculate the goodwill, kita dah tahu, kita tengoklah additional information yang ada ni. Yeah. Additional information. Okay, during the year, Ash sold inventory to S. Ash sold inventory to S. What does it mean? S is the seller. Sorry, Ash is the seller. S is the buyer. Yeah. So, sale ni adalah intercompany transaction. Ash jual kepada S, intercompany transaction. Jadi kita kena eliminate nanti. Kita eliminate dekat sale of holding, kita eliminate dekat cost of sale of subsidiary. Berapa banyak dia jual? The sale price of the inventory was 90,000. Sold at cost plus markup of 20%. Jadi masa dia jual 90,000 tu dia ada markup. Jadi dia jual bukan pada harga kos tetapi pada harga jualan, iaitu ada markup dia. So, sale price of inventory 90,000, ada markup sebanyak 20%, ada profit kat situ. Kemudian at the end of the year, half of the inventory unsold and 100,000 still due from S. Okay. Jadi dia ni bukanlah jual sekali je. Maknanya tahun lepas pun jual juga. Tahun lepas pun jual juga. Jadi untuk yang tahun semasa ni, dia jual secara kredit. Dia jual secara kredit. Jadi maknanya ada receivable dan payable. Dan tahun lepas punya pun ada yang belum bayar lagi. Sebab apa? Sebab tahun ni dia cuma jual 90,000 tetapi ada baki belum bayar lagi sebanyak 100,000. Okay. Jadi apa yang kita nak buat pada yang nombor 1 ni? Yang pertama, kita ada intercompany sale sebanyak 90,000. Okay. Yang kedua, kita ada intercompany receivable and payable 100,000. Yang ketiga kita ada unrealized profit. Apakah dia unrealized profit? Unrealized profit ni adalah profit yang diambil oleh penjual. Profit yang telah diambil oleh penjual dan barang dia belum lagi dijual oleh pembeli. Kan? Ya, barang dia belum dijual oleh pembeli. Macam mana kita tahu barang belum dijual oleh pembeli? Okay, the seller is the holding company. The seller is holding company, dia jual 90. Sepatutnya subsidiary sebagai pembeli dia akan jual semula lah kepada third party. Tapi dia tak dapat jual semula semua. Dia baru dapat jual sebanyak separuh saja daripada 90 tadi. Jadi maknanya item yang telah terjual kepada third party itu dia dah jadi realized profit. Tetapi item yang belum terjual di dalamnya masih lagi ada unrealized profit. Jadi termasuk di dalam closing inventory of the subsidiary adalah unrealized profit. Okay. So unrealized profit ni berapa banyak? Nilai dia adalah 20/120. Sebab apa? Sebab cost plus markup. Markup means the cost is 100%. Okay. And selling price is 120%. So bila kita nak tahu profit dia, 20% divide by 120%. So untuk dapat tahu berapa banyak unrealized profit dia, 20 divide by 120 time 50% time 90,000. Okay, cuba tekan calculator sikit, kita nak tengok jawapan dia. Unrealized profit ni dekat bawah ni. Okay, unrealized profit adalah 900,000 kali dengan 1/2 kali dengan 20 bagi 120. Okay, so kita dapat jawapan dia apa? Kita dapat jawapan dia 7,500. 7,500. Itulah amount of unrealized profit. Okay, jadi untuk additional information yang pertama tu pun kita dah banyak lah dia punya banyak cerita dia. Nanti kita tengok macam mana kita catatkan dia di dalam statement of profit or loss dan statement of financial position. Okay, itu yang pertama. Item pertama, intercompany sale of inventory. Yang kedua, on 10 October 2014, S sold a machinery to H at a loss of 1,500. The remaining useful life of the machinery was 5 years. Okay, ini cerita yang kedua pula. Apa yang berlaku? Intercompany transaction. Intercompany transaction. Okay, kita tak tahu berapakah nilai carrying amount, berapa harga jualan pun kita tak tahu. Yang kita tahu dia jual dan kerugian 1,500. Kerugian sebanyak 1,500. Jadi apakah kesannya 1,500 tadi terhadap intercompany balances and transaction? Okay, kesan yang pertama. Okay, kesan yang pertama ada intercompany loss. Intercompany loss maknanya the subsidiary make a loss of 1,500. Jadi yang ni kita kena eliminate. 1,500 ni kita kena eliminate. Okay, yang kedua adalah berkaitan dengan depreciation. Depreciation. Walaupun tak sebut pasal depreciation kat situ, tapi dia kata machinery have a remaining life of 5 years. Maknanya berkaitan dengan depreciation. Okay, what happened to the depreciation? Okay, if let's say you calculate your depreciation based on the original carrying amount, based on the original carrying amount, your depreciation will be higher as compared to if you calculate the depreciation based on the new carrying amount, kan? What's the new carrying amount? The new carrying amount is 1,500 lower than the old carrying amount. Jadi bila kita calculate depreciation, kita tak tahu pun berapa banyak nilai carrying amount. Yang kita tahu adalah nilai kerugian. Kerugian ni maknanya mengurangkan nilai carrying amount of the machinery. Jadi untuk dapatkan berapa beza di antara old depreciation and new depreciation, kita simply divide 1,500 dengan 5 years. Okay, 1,500 dengan 5 years. Okay, jadi depreciation dia telah terkurang. Depreciation telah terkurang sebanyak 1,500 bagi dengan 5. Ya, 1,500 divided by 5 equal to 300. Jadi for the year 2014 sampailah 5 tahun yang ke belakang, depreciation dia akan terkurang sebanyak 300. Depreciation terkurang sebanyak 300. Jadi depreciation terkurang ni kita nak buat apa? Untuk intercompany kita kena tambah balik depreciation tadi. Under provided depreciation kita akan tambah balik depreciation. Okey. Yang ketiga, nanti kita akan tunjukkan satu-satu macam mana kita nak tackle perkara ni. Number 3, as paid management fee to H amounted to 2,000 and included in admin cost. Okay, S pula, as a subsidiary, dia bayar 2,000. 2,000 kepada holding company. Sebagai apa? Dia trade sebagai admin cost. Maknanya ini pun adalah merupakan intercompany transaction. Bila subsidiary trade dia sebagai admin cost, holding akan trade dia sebagai other income. Other income sebanyak 2,000. Dan last sekali untuk example intercompany ni, goodwill impairment of 20% and 40% for the year ended 31st December 2014 and 2015 respectively. So just now we have calculated the goodwill impact by 20% and 40% for the respective years 2014 and 2015. Kemudian apa dia? Accounting policy on depreciation is yearly basis. Jadi dia tak tengok tarikh jual ataupun beli, tetapi dia tengok setahun, yearly basis. Okay. So just now we have calculated the goodwill until the amount of goodwill 57,500. Alright. Okay. Now, after looking at additional information number 4, we know that the goodwill was impaired by 20% in the year 2014 and 40% in the year 2015. So impairment tadi kita kena catatlah dalam calculation of goodwill. 20% times 57,500 is 11,500 and 40% times 57,500 is 23,000. Jadi impairment telah berlaku 2 kali. Dan bakinya selepas impairment adalah 23,000 and 23,000 will be stated ataupun will be shown in the statement of financial position. Okay. So we have calculated the goodwill and we have recorded the impairment. What is next step? Okay. According to the summary, next step will be next step is to do working number 2, that list analysis of financial statement balance brought down. Analysis of financial statement balance brought down. What is this? Okay, what is this? This is actually to analyze the items in the statement of changes in equity. Apakah statement of changes in equity? Item terdiri daripada group retained earning, group ARR dan juga non-controlling interest. Itu item dalam statement of changes in equity. Okay, jadi kita akan catat dia satu persatu. Okay, so analysis of financial statement balance brought down ni, kita ada sekurang-kurangnya 2 kolom. We have to have at least 2 columns. The first column is column on GRE, group retained earning, yang saya highlightkan ni, group retained earning. Dan item yang kedua ataupun kolom yang kedua adalah kolom non-controlling interest. Sekurang-kurangnya 2. Yang ketiga, yang keempat, yang kelima itu boleh ada item-item lain. Okay. So, when we want to analyze the financial statement, we are going to start with calculating the non-controlling interest. So, we are going to start with the non-controlling interest as per calculation in goodwill. Just now, in calculation of goodwill, we get a non-controlling interest of 107,500. Alright. So, we put the amount 107,500 here as the first item. So, dia punya column kita panggil NCI. Okay, dia punya row kita panggil date of acquisition. Ataupun di persingkatan tu DOA. Ya, DOA, date of acquisition. Ya, DOA, doa. Okay, DOA, date of acquisition. Okay, item pertama, the first item will be the non-controlling interest. Alright. Next, we are going to analyze the retained profit of S. Just now we say we want to analyze the opening balance of items in the statement of changes in equity. So, S retained profit. So, S retained profit, opening means on 1st January 2015. So, on 1st January 2015, from the question, S had a retained profit of 140,000. So, we put there 140,000. Yeah, we put there 140,000. Okay, kita letakkan 140,000. And then we have to minus 100,000. What is this 100,000? This is retained profit on the date of acquisition. We just put here DOA. Ataupun kalau nak panjang sikit, RP at DOA 100,000. Why we have to minus? Why we have to minus 100,000 from 140,000? Because 100,000 has been used to calculate the goodwill. Remember just now, when we calculate the goodwill, we use 100,000. 100,000 has been used to calculate the goodwill. It means 100,000 has been capitalized and cannot be distributed anymore. It cannot be distributed anymore. So, retained profit yang boleh kita distribute hanya baki dia 40,000. Alright. This 40,000 is the amount of retained profit that we know that we can call this profit as post-acquisition retained profit. 100,000 is pre-acquisition. Pre means it exists before the date of acquisition. Ataupun kita panggil DOA, ataupun kita panggil pre-acquisition profit. You can also put here pre-acquisition profit. So when you minus the pre-acquisition profit, the balance is post-acquisition profit. Only post-acquisition profit can be distributed. So since you have 40,000 post-acquisition profit on the date of on 1st January, so you can distribute the profit to the group and the profit to the non-controlling interest according to the percentage. The percentage just now is 75-20, 75-25, right? So 40,000 times 75% equal to 30,000, and 25% times 40,000 equal to 10,000. Okay, so far are you following?
Yes.
Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, and then we analyze another item of the subsidiary. Another item of the subsidiary, we know that retained profit, we know that ARR, this one is ARR, not retained profit, yeah, ARR. Ini ARR bukan retained profit. Okay, we know that the ARR as at 1st January 2015 is 80,000. Okay, and this figure okay, and this figure is included in 90,000 here. 90,000 here. Dalam statement of financial position of subsidiary kita ada 90,000. Ada 90,000. Tapi kita diberitahu bahawa dia punya amount pada 1 hari bulan Januari 2015, amount dia adalah 80. Okay. Jadi on the date of acquisition it is 80,000. ARR on 1st January 2015 is also 80,000. Okay. So when we compare there is no difference. It means all the ARR 80,000 is actually pre-acquisition ARR. Yeah, pre-acquisition ARR. Therefore, we cannot distribute the ARR to the group as well as to the non-controlling interest because the value is 0. 75% times 0 is also 0. 25% times 0 is also 0. And then in the subsidiary also we have preference share of subsidiary. preference share of subsidiary. The amount of preference share of subsidiary is 150,000. And out of 150,000, 40% belong to the non-controlling interest. So 40% times 150,000, it equals to 60,000. So altogether, the non-controlling interest has got 107,500 from the calculation of goodwill, and then 10,000 from the calculation of profit brought down, and 60,000 from the calculation of preference share. Altogether, the non-controlling interest on 1st January 2015 is 177,500. Okay, now we analyze the holding retained profit. Holding retained profit, holding retained profit, ARR pula kat sini. Retained profit, 1st January 15. Retained profit on 1st January 15 is 240,000. And then there is an impairment of goodwill. Just now, remember, impairment of goodwill in 2014 is 11,500. Okay, since there is no other adjustment for group retained profit, okay, retained profit of the holding company 240 minus 11,500, the balance is 228,500 will be included as part of profit of the group. Okay, so 30,000 just now from the subsidiary profit plus holding profit 228,500. The total group retained profit is 258,500. And okay, and don't forget that we have ARR of H amounting to 10,000. Yeah, amounting to 10,000. Where do we get this from? Kita tengok kat sini. ARR ya. Other component of equity kita ada 30. 30 ni adalah pada 31st December. Dan pada tahun semasa dia ada 20. Jadi maknanya opening balance dia 10. Ya. Kita nampak ni current dia ada 20. Closing 30. Maknanya current dia ada opening balance dia ada sebanyak 10. Okay. Jadi 10 tu dibawa masuk ke dalam group asset revaluation reserve. So opening balance, opening balance of group retained profit 258,500, general reserve 10,000, and non-controlling interest is 177,500. Okay, itu adalah analysis of financial statement brought down. Okay, saya teruskan dengan analysis of financial statement carried down. Okay, analysis of financial statement carried down. So kita akan ada dua kolom juga sekurang-kurangnya, GRE dan NCI, group retained earning and non-controlling interest. And we are going to start with NCI, the same figure as calculated in the goodwill, 107,500. Next, we are going to analyze the retained profit of the subsidiary. Retained profit of the subsidiary at the end of the year. So retained profit of subsidiary at the end of the year, 31st December 2015. How do we get this 180,500? 180,500 macam mana kita dapat? Kita lihat di sini. Okay, can you see? Profit brought down 140. Profit for the year 40,500. Altogether 180,500. Okay, 180,500. Alright. So we put here 180,500. And the same amount we are going to deduct. Sebab apa kita deduct 100,000? Because 100,000 cannot be used to be distributed anymore. So 180,500 minus 100,000. Bakinya tinggal 80,500 saja. Okay, kemudian we add back the unrealized profit on machine. Add back. Kita add back unrealized profit on machines. Sebab apa? Sebab dia adalah intercompany loss. Intercompany loss. The group cannot recognize intercompany loss. So we have to add back. the unrealized profit on machine. Sorry, unrealized loss on machine. And then related to this unrealized loss on machine adalah depreciation under provided. Ya, kita dah calculate tadi depreciation under provided sebanyak 300,000. Macam mana dapat 300? Bukan 300,000, sorry, 300. Macam mana dapat 300? 1,500 divide by 5. So, yang loss kita campur balik, depreciation terkurang, kita tolak. Okay, jadi 180,500 minus 100,000 plus back 1,500 minus 300, kita punya profit. Ya, post acquisition profit 81,700. So from this 81,700, it will be allocated to the group retained profit and also non-controlling interest based on the percentage 75-25. So 75% will go to the group retained earning and 25% will go to non-controlling interest. Okay, boleh check lah. 81,700 times 75%. 81,700 times 20%. 25%, sorry. Okay. Now, ARR of S. ARR of S, retain, ni ARR ya, bukan retain ni. ARR ARR as at 31 December 2015 is 90,000 from the question. Okay, jadi kita tengoklah soalan. Betul ke ada 90,000, betul? Betul ada 90,000. And then minus 80,000. What is 80,000? 80,000 is ARR on the date of acquisition that we have used to calculate the goodwill. So we have to minus 90 minus 80. The balance is 10,000. So 10,000 can be allocated to the group and to the non-controlling interest according to the percentage 75% and 25%. Okay. Dan last kali preference share masih angka yang sama, 150,000 times 40% equal to 60,000. So kita dah boleh totalkan kita punya non-controlling interest 190,425. Okay, next. We want to analyze the financial statement of holding. Yeah, financial statement of holding. Okay, retain profit 31st December 25. Okay, 31st December 25. Betul ke net profit dia 339,750? Betul retain profit 339. Ini dia. Profit brought down 240,000. Profit for the year 99,750. So kita campurkan, kita dapatlah angka tadi. 339,750. Tolak dengan goodwill impact untuk tahun 2014 dan goodwill impact 2015. Dan juga kita ada unrealized profit on inventory. Ingat tak tadi kita calculate ada unrealized profit untuk jualan yang dibuat oleh holding company kepada subsidiary sebanyak 7,500. So the profit at the end of the year of the holding company is 297,750. Kita campurkan dengan profit of subsidiary 61,275. Kita dapatlah baki profit kita at the end of the year 359,025. Kita punya GARR 37,500 dan kita punya non-controlling interest 190,425. Okay, so saya berhenti sekejap kat sini. Sekiranya ada apa-apa soalan, kalau nak tanya, boleh tanya. Okay, kalau tak ada pertanyaan, kita break dulu sebelum kita sambung dengan yang seterusnya. Okay, kita break 5 minit. Okay, welcome back. Kita sambung, ya. Apakah langkah seterusnya? Okay. So we have done 3 parts. The first one is to calculate the goodwill. Okay, second one to analyze the financial statement brought down, and the third one is to calculate or to analyze the financial statement carried down. Okay, what is next? Next, we are going to prepare the statement of profit or loss and statement of financial position. Okay, we are going to prepare the statement of profit or loss and statement of financial position. So we go to the statement of financial position first. Yeah. So I will go slowly so that you can follow. We start with non-current asset. Yeah. We start with non-current asset. I hope everybody is with me. Okay, we start with property, plant and equipment. We are going to record the property, plant and equipment using the step number 1. If you remember just now, we add together the property, plant and equipment of the holding and of the subsidiary. Jadi untuk example yang pertama ni kita buat slow-slow. Next time kita buat laju sikit lah. Okay. Property, plant and equipment of the holding 295,750. And then property, plant and equipment of the subsidiary 660,500. Mana dapat figure ni? Daripada soalan. 295,750,660,500. Pastikan kita berjumpa angka tu di sini. Okay. Alright. Lepas tu, after that, okay, we are going to add back the unrealized loss. Kita ingat tadi, subsidiary jual kepada holding pada harga kerugian. Dengan kerugian dia sebanyak 1,500. So, kita campur balik kerugian tu. Kita tak mahu kerugian tu. Dan kita tolak pula dengan under provided depreciation. So, we add back 1,500 and we minus 300. So, will be shown in the statement of financial position, the property, plant, equipment is 957,450. 957,450. Okay, next. What happened to the investment in ordinary share, investment in preference share, investment in debenture? All these 3 items will become 0. Why become 0? Because we are following the step number 2. Step number 2, whereby we eliminate the investment in subsidiary and the corresponding ordinary share, preference share and debenture. So how it happened? Okay, kita tengok journal entry di sebelah. Kita tengok journal entry di sebelah. Bagaimana journal entry dia? Okay. Tadi kita ada investment kan? We have investment in ordinary share, investment in preference share, investment in debenture. All will be credited. Credit investment in ordinary share, credit investment in preference share, credit investment in debenture, all credit. Apa yang kita debit? We are going to debit the ARR of the subsidiary 80, debit retained earning on the date of acquisition of subsidiary 100, debit ordinary share capital of subsidiary 250, debit preference share of subsidiary of 150, debit debenture of subsidiary of 48, all we debit. All we debit, and we have another debit that is goodwill 57,500. Remember that we get the goodwill of 57,500. Okay. Next. Okay, just now we have credited all the investment, and there is another item to be credited, that is non-controlling interest 107,500. Okay. Non-controlling interest 107,500. That's why investment in S for ordinary, preference and debenture is 0. Okay. So second item semua 0. Sebab apa? Sebab kita dah gunakan step number 2 to eliminate investment with the corresponding equity and also debentures. Item number 3, goodwill on consolidation is 23,000. Kita kata tadi 57,500. Why it become 23,000? Because we have impairment. 2 times impairment. 2 times impairment. Impairment yang pertama 11,500. Impairment yang kedua 23,000. So 57,500 minus 11,500 and 23,000, 23,000. So it become 23,000 balance. Okay, class? Hopefully you are following. Then we go to the non-current, we go to the current asset. Inventory of the holding 100. Inventory of the subsidiary 70. Minus 7,500. Why we have to minus 7,500? 7,500 is unrealized profit inside the inventory of the subsidiary. Kan? Jadi subsidiary tadi bila dia beli inventory, dalam inventory ada profit. So profit ni masih lekat lagi, kita keluarkan daripada inventory. Okay. And then trade receivable. Trade receivable 150 holding, 130 subsidiary minus 100. What is this 100? From the additional information, dia kata ada lagi tak bayar. Ya, ada lagi tak bayar. Pembelian oleh subsidiary sebanyak 100. Dividend receivable 25,950 minus 25,950. Why we have to minus? Because all the dividend are coming from the subsidiary. So kena minus. Interest pun sama, kena minus. The balance is 0. And cash and bank balance, kita add together cash and bank balance of the holding and subsidiary. Total asset 1,540,950. Equity and liabilities. Okay, ordinary share we combine together. Ordinary share of holding and subsidiary 400 and 250. But we have to minus the ordinary share of the holding company. Why we have to minus? Because we have debited here. Kita dah debit ni 250. Ordinary share of subsidiary 250 kan. Kita debit, sebab tu kita kena tolak. Campur dulu, lepas tu tolak. Campur step 1, tolak step 3. 8% preference share pun sama juga. 100 plus 150 minus 150. Why? Because kat sini. Kat sini kan. 150 kita dah debit. Retained earning. Retained earning we don't have to calculate. Ada components of equity we don't have to calculate. Non-control interest we don't have to calculate because we have already calculated here. Kita dah calculate di sini dalam analysis of financial statement. Kita dah ada 359,025, 37,500, 190,425 ni kita dah calculate. Jadi tak perlu calculate sekali lagi. So, kita masuk saja terus. 3 item tadi return profit. Saya colourkan semua warna kuning. Okay. Awak pun boleh juga colourkan warna kuning lah. Ya. Okay. Tak payah kira lagi dah. Next. Debenture. Debenture. Only subsidiary has debenture. Debenture dia adalah 120. So 120 minus 48. What is 48? 48 is the amount of debenture acquired by the holding company. Jadi 120 tolak 48 sampai dengan 72. Trade payable 194.35 holding, 150 subsidiary. What is 100? 100 is intercompany balance. Ya, intercompany balance maknanya subsidiary belum bayar kepada holding untuk pembelian inventory dia sebanyak 100,000. Jadi sama dengan atas ni, trade receivable minus 100, trade payable pun minus 100. Alright. Dividend payable. Dividend payable of holding 48. Dividend payable of subsidiary 37. So we have to minus 25.95. Why we have to minus 25.95? Because 25.95 ni yang di atas ni. Ni kan. Dividend receivable lawan dia dividend payable 25,950. Sama juga dengan interest payable lawan dia interest receivable. Okay. Dan last sekali tax payable combination of the two company. Next. Statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Okay. Revenue. Revenue of holding 500. Subsidiary 300. Minus 90. Minus 90. Kenapa minus 90? Sebab 90 adalah intercompany sale. Kita minus 90. Holding sale 90 kepada subsidiary. Cost of sale pun sama juga. Holding plus subsidiary minus intercompany sale 90. Minus intercompany sale sebanyak 90 dan kita campur balik unrealized profit sebanyak 7,500. Okay, kenapa kita campur balik unrealized profit 7,500? Sebab unrealized profit telah menyebabkan closing inventory terlebih nilai. Jadi bila kita tolak daripada kita punya closing inventory, maka naiklah kita punya cost of sale sebanyak 7,500. Okay, we get the gross profit of 432,500. And then loss on disposal of PPE we have to eliminate because intercompany. Okay, 1,500 minus 1,500. Dividend income pun kita tolak semula sebab datangnya daripada subsidiary. Interest income pun sama juga. Other income pun sama juga. Ingat lagi tadi 2,000 ni adalah management fee yang dibayar oleh subsidiary kepada holding. Kemudian ada impairment of goodwill untuk current year 23,000. Distribution cost, combination of the two company. Admin. Admin ada tambahan kepada admin cost iaitu depreciation. Depreciation terkurang sebanyak 300 tadi. So 50 plus T minus 2. Minus 2 apa? Minus 2 ni adalah management fee. Management fee kita tolak dan kita campur dengan under provided depreciation sebanyak 300. So 78 300. Finance cost tolak 4.8. What is 4.8? 4.8 is interest paid by the subsidiary to the holding company. Okay, profit before tax 269,000, taxation 99,000, combination of holding and subsidiary. Dan kita dapatlah profit for the year ataupun profit after tax. Okay, kemudian kita ada comprehensive income terdiri daripada ARR of holding and ARR of subsidiary during the year 20,000 dan 10,000. Last kali kita dapat total comprehensive income for the year 200,000. Okay, so because of you are not the only investor. Holding is not the only investor. Holding only hold 75%. Holding only hold 75%. And there is another party that also hold shares in subsidiary. They are collectively known as non-controlling interest. So non-controlling interest is having a share of profit of the subsidiary. Jadi profit of the subsidiary berapa? 200,000 dengan 170,000 ni adalah group punya. Subsidiary punya profit berapa? Kita kembali kepada calculation of profit of subsidiary for the year. Kita tengok profit for the year of the subsidiary. $77,500. Profit for the year of subsidiary 77,500. Jadi untuk calculate bahagian profit yang perlu diperolehi, bahagian profit yang perlu diperolehi oleh non-controlling interest, kita lihat profit of the subsidiary 77,500. 77,500. Kita campur balik unrealized loss 1,500. Kemudian kita tolak under provided depreciation 300. Dan kita tolak preference dividend semua sekali 12,000. Jadi total profit of the subsidiary after all the adjustment 66,700. 66,700 ni kita kali 25%. Sebab apa? Sebab non-controlling interest percentage is 25%. Kita dapat 16,675. 16,675. Pada masa yang sama, preference dividend sebanyak 12,000 ni 40% belong to non-controlling interest. So 40% kali dengan 12,000 equal to 4,800. 16,675 plus 4,800. Kita dapat 21,475. So 21,475 ni kita kira sebagai profit after tax attributable to the non-controlling interest. Okay. From the total profit of 170,000, 21,475 is belong to non-controlling interest, and the balance 148,525 belongs to the parent. Belongs to the parent. Jadi 170,000 tu bukan kita ambil semua. Parent ada 148,525 dan NCI ada 21,475. Okey. Kemudian for the total comprehensive income ada 200,000. Jadi berapa banyak daripada 200,000 tu belong to the non-controlling interest? Okey. Jadi non-controlling interest ada share lagi dalam ARR of subsidiary. Remember ARR of subsidiary adalah 10,000. ARR adalah 10,000 dan NCI ada share sebanyak 25%. Ada share sebanyak 25%. So 10,000 times 25% equal to 2,500. Jadi berapakah total comprehensive income untuk NCI? Amount dia adalah 23,975. Okay. So 23,975 kita bawa naik ke atas ni. Out of 200,000 total comprehensive income, 23,975 belong to the non-controlling interest and the balance 176,025 belong to the parent. Okay. Jadi mungkin yang ni agak mengambil masa sedikit untuk dipahami. Tak apa, take your time. Lepas ni refer balik lah. Refer balik kepada nota ni. Cuba fahamkan. Kemudian last sekali adalah statement of changes in equity. Statement of changes in equity comprise of 3 columns here. The first column is column of GRE. Second column GARR. And third column is NCI. Okay. GRE, GARR, NCI. So, the balance brought down as per working that we have done in number 2. Working number 2. Kan working number 2 ni kita dapat baki dia 258,500, 10,000 dan 177,500. Kita turunkan angka tersebut ke sini. 258,500, 10,000, 177,500. Okay. And then profit after tax during the year kita ambil daripada sini. 148,525 dan 21,475. Kita masukkan untuk kolom GRE dan kolom NCI. Okey. Kemudian kita masukkan revaluation reserve kepada NCI tadi 2,500. 2,500. Dan kepada GARR 27,500. Kenapa GARR 27,500? Sebab 30,000 daripada holding dan 7,500 daripada subsidiary. Dan last sekali untuk statement of changes in equity. Dividend proposed by holding ordinary 48,000 and dividend proposed by the subsidiary for NCI. For NCI 11,050. Okey, ingat tak tadi berapa banyak subsidiary proposed dividend? Ordinary 25,000. Preference 12,000. Daripada 25,000, 25% belong to the non-controlling interest. Daripada 12,000, 40% belong to the non-controlling interest. Jadi, kita dapatkan angka dia 11,050. Ini dia. 11,050 tu datangnya daripada sini. 11,050. So, itulah dia 11,050. Kita calculate sekali lagi. Ordinary 6,250. Preference share 4,800. Kita dapat 11,050. Soalannya, kenapa kita tolak dividen propose? Kenapa kita tolak dividen tu daripada total NCI? So, when there is a dividend is actually from the profit. So, when you pay dividend, the profit will reduce. So, that is the reason. So, dividend propose ataupun dividend paid, dia akan tolak daripada NCI punya portion. Sebanyak 11,050. Okay, kelas? Ada apa-apa soalan? Kita dah tengok satu example untuk preparation of statement of financial position, statement of profit or loss, statement of changes in equity untuk contoh yang partial goodwill. Partial goodwill. Jadi saya serahkan kepada awak sekiranya ada apa-apa soalan untuk ditanya. Ada tak apa-apa soalan? Ada. Susah ke?
Doktor nak tanya,
Boleh, boleh.
yang ARR of S post tu 80,000 tu,
80,000, okey. Ni,
dia datang daripada ada components of equity 90 tolak
Ya.
dengan fair value gain 10 tu
ya betul. Sebab yang fair value gain 10 tu adalah current year. Current year 10, lepas tu at the end of the year ada 90. Jadi maknanya apa? Maknanya opening balance 80. Dapat?
Dapat. Thank you, Doktor.
Okey, welcome. Ada lagi soalan? Ada lagi soalan? Okay, saya ulang balik sebab attendance ya. Yang tadi tak menjawab, Najwa tak ada jawab. Ada tak Najwa?
Ada, sir.
Okay, Najwa. Lepas tu Nur Hazikah.
Saya.
Okay. Nurul Fatihah.
Saya.
Okay. Sakif.
Saya, sir.
Okay. Asfa. Asfa memang tak ada. Siapa lagi ni? Nurul Atirah.
Saya, Doktor.
Ada ya. Fikriah.
Saya,
Ada. Ada.
Ada.
Okay, jadi yang tak ada Asfa. Asfa Irdina. Okay, kawan-kawan tolong check lah sama ada dia sihat ataupun tidak sebab kelas yang lepas pun macam tak ada. Tak ada lah ikut attendance ni. Okay. Okay. Ada apa persoalan lagi? Kalau tak ada, kita nak tengok yang full goodwill pula. Jadi full goodwill ni cuma beza dari segi calculation of goodwill. Macam partial goodwill tadi, kita kata all the goodwill belong to the all the goodwill belong to holding company. Kan untuk full goodwill ni kita ada bahagian untuk holding dan ada bahagian untuk non-controlling interest. Okay, jadi semua soalan sama kecuali dia menggunakan full goodwill. Jadi kita tengok full goodwill macam mana calculation dia. Okey. Saya besarkan sikit. Okay, this is full goodwill Okay, so to calculate the full goodwill, okay, perbezaan dia hanya sikit saja, iaitu calculation of NCI. Jadi according to the question, NCI fair value adalah 120,000. NCI at fair value adalah 120,000. Tadi kita dapat 100 lebih, tak sampai 120. Sebab dia based on the fair value of net asset. Tetapi kali ini dia based on fair value of share. Based on fair value of share, it is 120,000. Jadi CT sama juga 380,000. Yang beza hanyalah NCI saja. NCI 120,000. So our fair value of investment altogether 500,000. Our fair value of net asset is 430,000. When we compare, the goodwill increase. Increase daripada 57,500 kepada 70,000. Jadi bila kita tahu increase by 12,500, maknanya 12,500 is goodwill belong to non-controlling interest. Ya, goodwill belong to the non-controlling interest. Jadinya bila dikata impaired by 20%, 20% will be based on 70,000. And impaired by 40% also based on 70,000. Jadi 20% of 70,000 is 14,000 and 40% of 70,000 is 28,000 and the balance is 28,000. Persoalannya, the question is, okay, how are we going to record the impairment? Okay, sebab ada dua pihak yang memiliki goodwill ni. Jadi goodwill of the holding is 57,500. Goodwill of the non-controlling interest is 12,500. So whenever there is an impairment, bila ada saja impairment, kita akan calculate kita punya impairment individually, impairment of holding and impairment of the non-controlling interest. Okay. Jadi, 57,500 tadi bila impaired sebanyak 20%, amount dia adalah 11,500. Manakala 12,500 impaired by 20%, the value adalah 2,500. Jadi maknanya kita akan catat nanti, kita akan catat di dalam working number 2 dengan working number 3, working number 2 and working number 3 pada dua kolom. Macam tadi untuk partial satu kolom saja. Tetapi untuk fullnya ada dua kolom impairment, iaitu satu dekat GRE dan satu lagi dekat NCI, non-controlling interest punya kolom. Samalah untuk retained profit carried down. 23,000 dan 5,000. Okay. Jadi perbezaan dia hanya terdapat di dalam working. Kita tengok dalam working ni. Jadi untuk contoh yang kedua ni kita tak akan slow-slow lah sebab jawapan dia sama kecuali di beberapa tempat saja. Ni kan. Kita tengok kat sini dalam analisis tu. Yang saya warnakan kuning tadi, date of acquisition. Kita punya NCI bukan lagi 107. Bukan lagi 107, tetapi 120,000. Bukan 107,500 tetapi 120,000. Itu yang pertama. Dan yang kedua dalam kolom NCI tadi, bila ada impairment kita akan record juga dalam NCI. Okay. So NCI kita menjadi 187,500. Alright. Itu untuk brought down. Untuk carry down pun sama juga. NCI 120. Kemudian impairment dua kali kan. Impairment dua kali 2,500 dan 500. Itu saja. Dan kita dapatlah kita punya balance at the end of the year. Untuk NCI, balance yang berbeza. Okay. Kemudian dalam kita punya statement of financial position, sama saja. Sama saja kecuali goodwill. Goodwill ikut baki yang barulah, 28. Kemudian retained earning, ada reserve dan juga non-controlling interest ni based on the working lah. Okay, based on the working. Apa lagi? Tak ada lagi perbezaan lain. Dalam statement of profit or loss, dalam statement of profit or loss kita kekalkan dia sebagai 23. Impairment of goodwill 23. Okay, profit attributable to non-controlling interest sama. NCI pun sama untuk total comprehensive income. Profit pun kekal 170. Okay. Macam mana pula dengan statement of changes in equity? Statement of changes in equity, adakah ada perbezaan? Sekejapnya. Partial goodwill. $190,425. Sini pun. Sini 195,425. Sebab apa? Sebab ada impairment of goodwill sebanyak 5,000 dan of course kita punya balance breakdown tadi berbeza. Balance breakdown 187,500. Sedangkan dalam partial tu balance breakdown 177. Beza sebanyak 10,000. Okey. Jadi untuk full goodwill itu saja perbezaan dia berbanding dengan yang partial goodwill. Okey. Dan saya nak minta supaya awak baca balik apa yang kita discuss pada hari ini. Yang mana kita belajar setakat ni sajalah untuk hari ini, tetapi ada tugasan. Tugasan tu awak cuba soalan ni yang saya dah bagi soalan tu. Tengok sekejap ya. Saya belum bagi sekejap ya. Ni dia. Ni soalan contoh. Hot and spicy. Hot and spicy. Cuba ya. Cuba soalan ni. InsyaAllah kita akan cuba bincang pada kelas tutorial lah soalan ni. Okey. Awak cuba dulu. Ni additional information dia banyak lah. Okey. Jadi, saya dah bagikan soalan ni. Dah bagi? Belum?
Ya.
Okey,
Dah.
dah. Jadi awak cuba. Cuba nanti kita discuss dalam kelas tutorial insya-Allah. So saya rasa kelas kita hari ini setakat ni saja dulu. Kecuali ada apa-apa soalan nak tanya. Tak ada soalan?
Tak ada.
Okey. So kalau tak ada, thank you for coming. InsyaAllah kita jumpa lagi pada kelas tutorial. Kita sudahi dengan surah Wal-Asr. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you, Doktor.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you, Doktor.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Doktor.
Welcome.